O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty. Hope you all are doing well out there. Good morning. There we go. Ah, yes. Ready to rock, ready to roll. Hope you all are feeling well. It's a beautiful day. It's beautiful watching Bitcoin bounce back strong. It's nice. Where's it at right now? I wonder if you did you buy it at 58, 59, 60, 61? It's at 66 right now. So even newbies that take advantage of the dips take a little profits too along the way, which is nice. Anyway, we make our move to 75, 80,000. That is next. That's coming up. Be interesting to see what happened. Yesterday, by the way, the dip was all because there was one person, one wallet that sold their Bitcoin from 2010. God bless them, dude. What'd they pay for Bitcoin in 2010? Let's see. 14, 10. The price was 24 cents. God bless that person. I mean, 24 cents. They sold it at $68,000. That's beyond the American dream, ladies and gentlemen. Beyond the American dream. So, that this is going to happen along the way. You're going to have some corrections because people are going to take profits. There were people that were a hell of a lot smarter than you and me and got in a lot earlier. 2010, and they sold their Bitcoin. Or sold some of it. I don't even know if they sold all of it. Who knows? I mean, at that price, you could have bought thousands and just sell a bit and you're filthy rich, so just kind of crazy, but they sold enough that it shocked it, right? And they must have owned a lot back in the day, which became an enormous amount nowadays. So that's impressive from 2010 till now. That's pretty freaking awesome. So we are at 66,000 right now. We'll see what happens throughout the day as we continue. So we'll have a little fun with that. We got a bunch of Dolphin stuff to talk about, a bunch of releases and signing and possible signing that's coming. We got a couple of other issues. We got a serious issue we want to get into today with the Dolphins, a serious issue, like something that is becoming a problem for the Miami Dolphins. And, guess you take the bad with the good, and there's a lot of bad has been showing up lately. So that's an issue there. But anyway, so we've got stuff. Heat won, Panthers won, Nova Southeastern won. So the teams that pretty much are having their good seasons are winning. And the Heat, by the way, climbed up to the 6th spot. So that is actually very good. And they're half a game out from the Knicks. So here we go. Kyle Cockrell, by the way, is number one in. He says Bitcoin had the correction. I was expecting it hit 61. A lot of people got liquidated. Whales doing their thing, manipulating the market as usual. No, actually, it was really more about a 2010 person that said it's time to cash in, and God bless them. I don't have a problem with that, man. I am used to this. I know what's going to happen. I know there are going to be some corrections. I know we're going to have a little bit of pullbacks at times because nothing is just going to go straight up parabolic. And by the way, you should be glad for the volatility, because if you're new, then you went and got it at 60 again, and now it's at 66. So you're already making money for you newbies. The people that have been in it longer, from like me, brother, I buy a little bit. If I buy anything, I buy a little bit or whatever, but I'm not buying a lot anymore. It's just I'm just building on what I have. I won't stop buying it, but I'm certainly buying a fraction of what I used to buy. But I'm still buying. I will not stop buying. And I don't blame people for taking profits. I'm going to do it one day. You're going to do it one day. Everyone's going to do it one day. You're not ready yet. You got to wait a little more so you can enjoy some more profits, because this thing's going to go to several $100,000. So it's up to you when you want to get off the gravy train, But I think it's great for newbies to have these kind of dips because it allows them to take advantage and make a little extra money, in the process. To me, that's the important part. new people learning about it and all that, not freaking out. By the way, yesterday's dip is a joke. It's not blood on the streets, as they say. That happened 18 months ago, 2 years ago, when we were at the bottom of the real bottom of the market, and you're buying, okay? All right? When your portfolio is down 50, 60, 70%, because at one point my portfolio was down 70%, okay? All right? And you're still buying because you have conviction. And maybe that's why I'm up 60 to 70% now in the portfolio. Now it's completely turned around. So this was like a pimple pop. That's what it was. There's no bloodbath here. This is nothing. What happened yesterday is nothing. It's a joke. Been through a ton worse the last couple of years. Anyway, Jamie Zoria out in San Jose, reminding everybody to smash that like button, hit the notification bell, subscribe, please. That helps us immensely. Steve Chapman, Steven Gonzalez. It's about time the moves. Well, remember, there's still no moves being made in free agency yet. These are like street free agents or your own. That's the only thing that can go on right now. It's not a big deal. Captain Saki is out in Tarpon Springs. Big O is the godfather of Miami sports talk. Great work, fellas. Thank you, Captain Saki. I appreciate you, man. Joseph, he kept us intrigued until the end, huh? I mean, give Detroit some credit. They played hard. They won, dude. That's all I don't need style points. Just get it done. And they got it done. It's better than losing to these kind of teams. Morning, Big O. That Heat game last night was a lot closer than it probably should have been. Yeah, well, I mean, these teams, sometimes they try. And they've got pros too, So give Detroit a little love. They played hard. Reynaldo Mesa, Papa, let's go and get a corner and a couple DTs in free agency. Baker sucks against the pass. Great in the run. Okay. Giovanni, Cats Heat. How about Inter? Cats Heat, Inter. Cats Heat, Inter, Nova, Southeastern. They're in the Sunshine State tournament now. And they will get into that Division II tournament again. They could win the national title again. One-Eyed Jack says, I can't wait for the roster moves Greer and company to do in the next few weeks. I hope one of them is Derrick Henry. So do I. You, by the way, you noticed that we're the first to talk about Derrick Henry and Patrick Queen, and then everybody else got on the bandwagon, right? Just out of curiosity. I don't know if you noticed that, but we're the first ones. Before anybody wrote an article, before anybody made a post, before anybody made anything on social media, we're the first ones to say, go get Derrick Henry and go get Patrick Queen. And it's interesting how that's like taken a life of its own. Very interesting. How others have climbed on our momentum. But that's all right. It's all good. We're usually playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. No Doubt is in. Damn, I bought the dip, and I'm not for newbies. That dip was beautiful. Even for a veteran like me, I have no problem, bro. I'll buy more Bitcoin anytime, any moment, any day. Doesn't matter to me, bro. Doesn't matter. I know it's going to get really ugly, and it's going to get to a price that's just going to be ridiculous, and you're not going to be able to stack your stats, and that's going to be a problem. Gordon Shumway is in. Gus 1388. Andrew Harris. Brian Landis is in South Carolina. Popeye the Sailor Man. John Padilla. Drago. Stetson O. Alexis. Chad is in. Super V. Luis Berriel says, good morning, brother. Panthers and Heat repping for South Florida big time. Andrew Weitzel. Johnny D says Panthers are on fire. Ray Sosa, crazy to see how amazing the Panthers are. They are. The pass the other night from Barkov was sick. Then last night we watched Duncan do a behind the back baseline move. It was just like some of the shit going on in some of these games. It's like, wow, dude, you don't want to miss it, man. It's pretty awesome. Kachuk had like 3 assists yesterday. It was great. It was great, man. It was great. Isaiah is in. Palenzuela loves it in Bitcoin. Lofi says he sold because he needed to build a bunker before the nuclear war. Why not? Cosa Nostra, Brian Landis, NorCal is in. NorCal, congratulations to you on 20 years. Giving up the SIGs. Very, very good for you. Smoke weed, not SIGs. I just planted 4 seeds last week for 24 cents. In a perfect world, it's worth $6,000 by November. There you go. That's investments right there. Lofi says, Janu, if he gets a contract from us, going to say that doesn't move the needle in improving the team. I disagree with you. We'll get to Janu. We'll get to some of this Dolphin news and break down some stuff that you guys need to know about. Josh says it's all about Bitcoin and the Heat and the Panthers and Nova Southeastern and Inter Miami. Let's go. Let's give love to all of our South Florida teams doing well. Frankie Fresco, Cap for Life. Thoughts on Drew and Athletes First taking over the Dolphins team? Who told you they're taking over the Dolphins team? Why? Because they have a few clients? That means nothing whatsoever. Nothing. What are you listening to? Some writer or some agent on the air or some ESPN person or something? I don't know where you got that. You're obviously parroting something that's said stupidly by somebody else. Whatever it is, I don't know what the hell I know you're repeating Cap for Life because that sounds like something that's parroting and did not come from you. Okay? You're not really bright enough to actually come up with something even that stupid, which sounds really weird. But the problem is you don't really know enough about those things to actually know that. So that tells me you must have gotten it from somebody. Okay? Means nothing whatsoever. That an agent or agency has several players. Means nothing whatsoever. They don't hold one against you for the other. You got to make business decisions. They're going to make business decisions. Players will make their own decisions. Teams will make their own decisions. It's a business. You know? So whoever you listen to saying that, you know, maybe that's why you're usually misinformed. You know? Maybe you should listen more to this show than other places. You'd be well more informed and you'd actually be like you would tell your friends what's going on and it's going to happen exactly. And you would look like a genius. You're better off that way, Cap for Life, than actually listening or reading or watching. I don't know where you got that from somewhere else that's completely misinformed. Just want you to know, I'm trying to help you. Okay, like I was trying to help you with Bitcoin at 16,000 and it's now 66. That it would have gone up $50,000. I'm just trying to help you. That's all I can do. I can give you tips and tell you, hey, the live line on Hard Rock app is better than before. I can only try to help you, Cap for Life. Okay? If you don't want the help and you want to sound dumb, that's up to you, my brother. It's up to you, my man. Seriously. But I think you need to do a better job of picking and choosing who you're watching, listening, reading. I don't know how you got that, but definitely you're parroting. There's no doubt about that. I will talk about those comments, D. I will talk about them. And thanks to Dre, who made me aware of them. Let's see. Lofi says, might even get to fire up the mining rig this year. Nothing to mine after Ethereum moves to... Yeah. Proof of work. About some victory. How about some? Oh, yeah. All right, Sean, let's go. Let's give Nova Southeastern a victory cigar after beating Eckerd College in the Sunshine State Tournament. They take on Lynn on Thursday in the tournament. The Miami Heat move up to the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference with a 118-110 win over the Pistons. Light it up. The Panthers beat Los Diablos 5-3, improved to 43-16-4. They've got the best record in the NHL. Kachuk had 3 assists. Spark it up. That's how you do it. Way to go. And you can spark up a Perdomo cigar anytime you want. I bought the dip when Bitcoin hit 61. One-Eyed Jack, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you. It's at 66. Making a little money already. Wait till it's at 106. And you're going to go, yeah, baby, I bought it at 60 on that dip. That was good. That was good. Like a buddy of mine that's new at it, right? When we had that 49 or 50 dip to 38, remember? Right? He killed it. He went and bought, I even bought that dip at 38. You know, but he's new and he bought it. He bought it big because he's kind of new at it. Well, think about it. He bought it at 38. It's at 66. He's feeling like a fucking genius right now, which, by the way, he is. He's, you know, it's about to be $30,000 up because it'll be 68 soon. And he bought it at 38. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. You take advantage. Depending on what stage you got in. That's how it is. Is it as fruitful for a person like me? No. But for a newer person, it is. It's still fruitful because I still bought the dip myself. So I'm making a little extra money. Now, it's probably the most, it is the most expensive I bought Bitcoin at. But that's kind of, you know, that's all right. I'm like Michael Saylor. I won't stop buying the top. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not worried about it because it's only going to go when it's at 3, 4, 500,000. I'll never buy Bitcoin, but I'll have, and I'm like, thank God I bought it. So Paul is in Connecticut. He's doing the Bitcoin dance also. Brian Morgado. Let's go Nova Southeastern. Like to hear that. El Jibaro is in. Inter is putting on a show. Pipe Man Slim says bye, bye, bye. Angelo De Jesus. Chad says, hear me out. Kachuk, Huberto trade might be the greatest trade in South Florida history. Definitely greatest trade in Panther history. Yeah, we got to go with Don Shula and Pat Riley. Those trades were amazing. So we'll go with those two still. Cosa Nostra is in. Miami becomes title town USA. Drago says each player is a business on his own, then comes the team. Exactly. Social Derek says, Big O, the business. I was wrong about Bitcoin. I see the light now. Only now I know how to invest into Bitcoin. Good for you, bro. Please get a cold storage wallet. You got it, Derek? Buy it on the exchanges, pile up a certain amount, and then move it over to your Tangent wallet, my friend. And use YouTube videos to learn how to buy and sell crypto on whatever exchange you're at, crypto.com, Binance, whatever it is that you use, Kraken, and then find the video on YouTube how to move from whatever exchange you're using to your Tangent wallet. Okay? And buy the Tangent wallet with the 3 cards, Derek. Okay? That way you've got backups and you're good. So you don't want to keep anything on exchanges, my friend. Cold storage wallet. I've been trying to guide you from the get-go on that. I'm glad you're now on our side here and you're understanding. Because the dollar, it's, listen, I'm not a financial advisor by any stretch whatsoever. But I'm going to tell you what I feel. You shouldn't have any dollars. It should all be in Bitcoin. You can turn that into dollars anytime you want, but is your money growing? Because Bitcoin grows. Think about it. Why are you putting it in a savings account? Why are you putting it in a 401k? Why are you in a money market account when it doesn't move like this? So you buy more eggs and you buy more gas and you buy more shit with Bitcoin. Because your money grows in Bitcoin. Your money doesn't grow anywhere else. Inflation outnumbers your money market account, your savings account, everything. It just pretty much kills it. Maybe your 401k can slightly outlast inflation. But Bitcoin, come on, dude. It's up 200%. You know, in the last year, it's up 200%. Nothing does that, you know? So, but again, you do your own homework, you make your own decisions. But for me, my suggestion is you try to own the least amount of dollars as possible, and you convert it to something like Bitcoin or Ethereum that is going to constantly grow, you know? And then you could take it out whenever you want. And, you know, eventually you'll take out your initial investment and watch the rest of the Bitcoin continue to grow. It's like ridiculous. It really is. It's just stupid. But hey, man, you know, dude just doubled up his money in 1 year. That's how you do it, bro. Buy the dip. Exactly. Bill's Bangers is in the house. I wasn't alive, so my lifetime, that's fair. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we have to go with those. In South Florida history, the Shula one changed our entire franchise, and the Riley thing completely changed our franchise. I mean, those trades are, God, it's sick how great those trades turned out for our town. You know, 401k, hate them. You're stuck till what? It's 60 years old and can't touch it without penalties. Yeah, I know. I took out my whole 401k and made it crypto. And the greatest decision I ever made. They were making $1,000 a year for me. In 9 years, they made me $9,000. I'll make that in a month in crypto. Okay? A month. I'll make it in crypto with the same money, turning it into a same portfolio. Okay? It was, you know, you're averaging 1,000 a year. I did the math. I'm like, so in another 20 years when I retire, I have $29,000. Fuck, that's fantastic. Honey, we get to go to Hawaii and Paris, and now we've got no money left. Yeah, nah, it's all good. I got better ways to do it. Way better ways to do it. So we'll mine. By the way, how do you like the new hat? The new addition to the Bitcoin family. I had to, you know, I have a rotation of only a couple Bitcoin hats, and I said, I got to find another cool one. And so we mine away, and we got it. So we love it. By the way, Matt Verderame will join us at the top of the hour, so we'll have some fun with Matt. Top Gun Indoor Range. Steve, great people at Top Gun Indoor Range. It is the largest indoor range in Dade County, folks. They have self-defense classes for the ladies. It is also the largest archery indoor range in Dade County, too. They have the latest in air quality and targeting systems. Some of you that went for the shooting contest, and we'll have another one. We'll announce the date soon. You right away, you noticed it, like, wow, man, the filter in this place is amazing, because you really don't want a bunch of lead flying around and smelling that. You know what I'm saying? So they've got the self-defense classes for the ladies, and, you know, man, the world we live in, whether you like it or not, everybody should be better prepared. And the ladies, if they're home alone and they don't know how to protect themselves, this is a great opportunity where you can teach them, folks. And by the way, they have classes in Spanish also. Great customer service. Steve and the amazing people out there at Top Gun Indoor Range. Go check them out. They've got memberships, depending on the level of membership that you get. I mean, it goes all the way. More discounts and even unlimited shooting. Okay, so it's up to you, whatever membership you want to get. Top Gun Indoor Range, 305-306-7333. All right. Bitcoin still holding at 66.1. By the way, on the 15th, we will be at the Dade County Youth Fair broadcasting live. And we're going to be on the Midway this time, because we've been the last 2 years inside the building. But now we're going to be out in the Midway, and we're going to be at like 3 different places. So every broadcast will be at a different spot at the youth fair. So really looking forward to it. We'll be right. And those shows will be later shows also. They'll start at 4:00 because that's when the fair opens. So we're going to be out there. So, and we're going to be giving away, I don't know, 6 family 4-packs. I think that's what it is. So we're going to be giving away a bunch of family 4-packs for those of you that want to go to the fair. And if you are going to the fair, you got to come by and say hi, man. You know, we'll be out there. We'll be in our big tent. So, you know, we got the whole thing, baby. So join us out there, weekdays, everything, spring break, March 22nd through the 29th. They open at noon. It's beautiful. Parking is free every day. You know, guests, by the way, guests that are under 5 are in free, and 65 plus get in free every day. So come on out there, man. Check it out. General admission pricing is only $16. So check it out. Unlimited rides. They have up to $40 on site. So you can get the unlimited rides. All kinds of, and then of course the crazy ass food. Sean, dude, I'm sorry. I have to apologize to you, bro. Because you're going to be missing something at the youth fair this year. You're going to be pretty disappointed about this. Now, there's some other stuff that they told me about that I think you're going to be really inspired. But there's no pickled lemonade this year. I'm sorry, bro. I apologize on that because I know you really love that pickle lemonade. In fact, he loved it so much, he made some of his own pickle lemonade at his house. Have you mastered it, by the way? Have you become a pickle lemonade master brewer? Oh, man. Let's see. Dude bought in 2010 at less than 30 cents, just cashed in 110 million in profits. I mean, it's freaking amazing. God bless him, dude. What about land? Oh, go to own. I'm sitting in it right now. Buying extra properties is what you're saying. It's a lot easier to buy $100 of Bitcoin than it is a $500,000 property. And by the way, this is not the time to buy property right now, my man. We need a crash. So I got to wait for a property dip, a real dip, unfortunately. And we're getting there because our credit card bills are through the roof in this country. There are people that are overextended all over the place, unfortunately. They've taken out second mortgages more than ever. Okay. More than ever. People have dug into their 401ks. All these kind of stats are out there. So we have issues, unfortunately, and we have issues coming, but it'll be more in probably the back end of 2025 is when it'll probably start. And maybe a real estate crash. We have a commercial real estate crash coming. That's already happening in the process. But the regular real estate crash, now some states will be affected more than others. Our state will not be nearly as affected as, let's say, Tennessee, okay, or Michigan or something like that. Texas will not be as affected either because these are states that actually have an influx of people now. So that's where we'll be affected, but not nearly as much as others. So I am looking at property stuff, but now's not the time. And I'm not the player that has the kind of money to go out and buy properties at this point. Man, hell no, dude. I'll buy $100 of Ethereum instead. Okay, so I'm not a big spender, my brother. I don't have that kind of money. But if you do, God bless you, bro. God bless you. But I would say this, not a financial advisor. This is probably not the time for real estate. I think you still have to hang in there. George says, I ordered my Tangem wallet like you suggested to me yesterday. Also, just bought more Bitcoin a few minutes ago. Good for you. Land is a physical asset, so good, but I got guys that have 30 plus plots of land and have to sell one a year just to pay the taxes on it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The idea is really basically if you can buy it and then rent it out and then have somebody else pay the mortgage and the taxes on it. You know what I'm saying? That's really the only way you can really do it. If you can't get away with it, then that's a lot tougher. Ray says the 2010 NBA free agency of LeBron James joining the Heat is right up there for the best trade in South Florida sports history since he was technically traded to the Heat. Yes and no. It's a great trade. Doesn't come close to Riley. Without Riley, there's no Zoe, there's no Timmy, there's no Wade, there's no Shaq, there's no championship, there's no big three, there's no multiple championships, there's no Eric Spoelstra. You know, no, and no. Okay. The Riley trade will be the greatest trade of Heat history, and it will dwarf everything because without the Riley trade, we have nothing. Nothing. No championships, no division titles, maybe one or two or something. I don't know. We might have been a mediocre Orlando Magic type team. Okay. Without Riley, bro, there ain't shit going on here, you know, and that's the way we got to look at it. Property doesn't go up 10 to 100 times in its value in only a few years. Property is a very good investment, but not the payoff of other investments. That is also very true. Real estate crash needs to happen quick. Kansas rural areas going for over $1 million for 20 acres. I'm looking at land in Texas and Kansas. It'll happen, my brother, but not yet. Not yet, unfortunately. But it'll happen. Hang in there. Make your money in crypto and then use that money for your real estate. Commercial real estate is 80% loan coverage by regional banks. Commercial real estate has a crash. Then we have small banks running soon, after which means more banking consolidation or worse. Yeah, small and mid-sized banks are going to die. Absolutely die. It's only a matter of time. We'll be left with 5 or 6 big banks, and they will run everything. Kind of like the 5 or 6 families that have been running the Federal Reserve forever. So, just heard on New York City radio that Aaron Rodgers wants to play 3 or 4 more years. Yeah, that's hilarious. Big O, do you guys have anything like our tax-free savings account here in Canada? We get to invest $6,000 a year in our TFSA and can invest in anything we wish, and it all grows tax-free forever. No, I don't think so. But you guys have more limitations in crypto, right? I mean, that was it. Trudeau or whatever it is, pulling that bullshit with the truckers and all that kind of stuff. And what is your taxes overall? So that's also kind of high there too. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody really has a perfect scenario unless you go to some other countries that are much more Uruguay, Portugal, Madeira is now going to become way more Bitcoin friendly. El Salvador, Germany, I'm kind of tracking all this. So, you know, I get to enjoy life down the line a little bit more. Let's see. I would tell you Malaysia, but they're getting more expensive now. They have changed their laws. But there are some countries that are very crypto friendly and tax friendly and all those kind of things. That's something that, again, those of you that are big investors, you should look into, because that way you can travel to those kind of places and hang out in those kind of places. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. The Riley trade is on a tier of its own. There's no doubt. Riley Shula, bro. Those people are culture changers. You know, the Dolphins became what they used to be for 30 years once we traded for the Jaw. And once we traded for our money, our lives have changed ever since. It can never be, you know, reached. Those two trades are by themselves in the history of South Florida sports. You know, the Messi trade is fun, and the big three, and, you know, there's a lot of great shit. Kachuk, and, you know, there's a lot of fun and great athletes that we've acquired over the years, but without Shula and without Riley, man. Nah, I'm good. I got to give them their props. Those are the trades, man. Let's see. We have Roth and IRA and Roth 401k that grows tax-free because we pay the taxes up front. Okay, there you go. I don't have a Roth IRA or 401k anymore, so I wouldn't know about that anymore. So Visa for Bitcoin. I don't know what that means. Anyway, what else do we have going on? We do actually have a lot of things going on. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Why don't we? Heat over Pistons last night, 118-110. They will take on Dallas on Thursday. Looking forward to that. Bam Adebayo, by the way, 18.7 rebounds. Butler had 26 points. Panthers over the Devils, 5-3. Cousins had 2 goals. Kachuk had 3 assists. Stolarz had 24 saves. Thursday, they take on Philadelphia at 7 p.m. They're on the number 1 spot in the NHL, period, and the Eastern Conference, too. NSU, the Sharks beat Eckerd College last night in the Sunshine State Tournament, 92-72. Thursday, they will take on Lynn University as they advance. Eckerd was number 8 in the tournament. Lynn is number 4. They look to advance and then get to the Division II playoffs. And we'll see if they can win another national title. So looking forward to that. That, of course, call my friend Alan Blanco at 3A Graphics. If your company needs whatever, hats, shirts, magnets, pens, you name it, they do it all. 3A Graphics sports calendar. Call Alan Blanco Custom Printing and Embroidery, 786-618-1443. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? We got some Dolphin stuff I want to talk about. All right. I don't know where to start. The cap talk, which has been silly talk from the get-go, as I told you. And one of the things that I try to like open your eyes on what's going on and what's being reported or said or professed on some place or somewhere that somebody sends me something, if I hear about it or if I actually see it myself on social media. So let me ask you something. When it was cap hell by some, does that mean that they were stuck and they had no movement? Because that's cap hell. So now that those people now realize that they have a lot of flexibility. And they have so much flexibility that they can easily get under the cap and easily have money to maneuver and do a lot of things. So is that cap hell because you got to cut Jerome Baker, or is that smart move? Is it cap hell that you're not giving Christian Wilkins a contract, or is that a smart move? Keion Crossen had his share of injuries and, you could free up a couple $1 million. Is that not a smart move? I'm not exactly sure. So how do you want to spin things here? When I say cap hell, that means you've got no movement. You're stuck. You got a bunch of dead money. You got salaries that are enormous already. And some of them are at a brink that you cannot even guarantee any more money because it's a bad contract at this point. Like Teron Armstead, you really don't want to guarantee any more money with Teron Armstead. You want to have that window in 2 years to get the hell out. You don't want to be forced to keep him for a third year when he can't hold up and he's already contemplating retirement, right? So I just want you to understand that cap hell, okay, the real definition of cap hell, and don't let anyone else explain to you what cap hell is because clearly they don't understand it. But I get it. When, you gotta... You need to try to play both sides of it, 3 sides of it, 4 sides of it, and there's no sides of it. It's just one. When you're in cap hell, that means you got a ton of dead money. That means you got very little options and very little flexibility. And last time I checked, the Dolphins have a ton of flexibility. They have money. They have picks. They have opportunities to add players with no problem whatsoever. So I told you when cap hell is coming, didn't I? Have I not told you for a year now? I know everybody else is still trying to catch up, but I think we told you already that, it'll be fine this year. It'll be doable next year. It'll be near impossible 3 years from now. It gets ugly. It gets ugly. So you got to win now. You got to win in these next 2 years. Unless your draft picks are, you hit on all of them in the next couple of years leading up, and maybe that'll help your transition a little bit. But, it's hard. These guys are doing better. They're actually hitting on more than half of their picks lately in the last 3-4 years. So, at least now you're hitting on picks, and you're going to lose good players, and you're going to keep some good players, but you're not in cap hell. Not yet. And even if you pay Tua, like I told you, his real salary won't kick in for 2 more years. So let's, again, I get it. Sensationalism sells. Saying crazy ass shit, writing crazy ass shit. I get it, dude. It sells, and you people fall hook, line, and sinker for it and all that kind of stuff. But the Dolphins aren't in cap hell at all. And there's only one definition of cap hell. And I explained it to you already a couple times here. And Miami does not resemble anything like cap hell. Just it gets ridiculous. Welton Rayom, by the way, is the law firm you want to call. This is the number you want to save, because if you are dealing with bankruptcy issues, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, call my guy, Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom. These guys know how to get it done. 954-966-4646. And listen, you may not need it right now, or something happened to you a month ago, 5 months ago, a year ago. You're not sure if you have a case or not. The consultation is completely free. Pick up the phone, ask for Jeff Welt. Jeff will listen to you and tell you if you have a case or not. He even helped one of our listeners. Listen to this. This is how cool Jeff is, okay? This is the coolest of the cool, all right? The listener calls, explains the situation. Jeff says, hey, you have a case. But unfortunately, we can't help you because we don't handle this kind of case. But I have a lawyer, a friend that does a great job in these kind of cases. Let me give you his number. I'll give him a call and give him a heads up that you're calling. Boom. And he helped our listener out. That's how cool he is. Okay. So call Jeff. You might need it. You don't know. You might be able to make some extra money that you deserve because of something that happened to you and it wasn't fair, but you can get compensation for it. Call Jeff Welt right now. Daniel Rayom, 954-966-4646. They're in Hollywood, but you can call them wherever you're at. And by the way, save the number because we have hurricane season in a few months. And God forbid, man, we get some water damage or something. You don't want to call the insurance companies. You want to call Welton Rayom first, and then they'll call the insurance companies and get that money for you. Welt and Rayom. All right. So, Dolphins make moves yesterday. They released Jerome Baker. Good dude. Great dude. Okay? I can't call him a great player. And I can say he was a solid draft pick. Sold himself out for this team. Quality human being. Quality professional. But if you're going to save, nearly $10 million, I think this makes a lot of sense for the Miami Dolphins. Plus, remember, you have a new defensive coordinator. Those of you out there that are freaking out, this is part of change. When you have change, unfortunately, whether it's a business, as you all know, when somebody buys a new business, that new owner doesn't keep all the employees. That new owner fires a lot of employees and brings in their own that they feel comfortable with, or they're changing the dynamics of it and they want different people, whatever, for whatever reason. When you have new leadership, you have change. And with Anthony Weaver, well, maybe also Baker doesn't fit what he wants to do. I don't know. Maybe he wants more of a physical player where maybe that's not what Baker is. Right? Let's be honest. Although that hit in the open field on 4th down, that shit was as physical as it gets. The no tag on Wilkins, I've been telling you this for a long, long time already that this was coming. Made a lot of sense. Defensive tackle Isaiah Mack, training camp fodder, a body that's at the back end of your rotation, if anything, if he makes the team. It's not a big deal. Cutting Keion Crossen again, you save more money. Expect other cuts coming. You'll start seeing them here today and over the next few days. You'll start seeing a bunch of cuts. Now, Jonnu Smith has not been officially signed yet, right? Sean, I have the Dolphins. No, they haven't put out anything, right? There's talks, and it doesn't count against your compensatory free agency pickups, which is good. Jonnu Smith is actually a good pickup for the Dolphins, but not as a starter, as your number 2. This is pushing Durham Smythe to the number 3 spot. You still have to go out and get a number 1 guy. Now, I like Jonnu Smith's speed. I like his athleticism, which will help out here in this offense. But there's one thing. You know what? I forgot to do it. Sean, can you look it up for me? I don't know if you can. I don't know where that stat is. Drop passes. I want to say that was an issue for Jonnu Smith. I don't even know where that is, that kind of stat. You know what I'm saying? But that, if I remember correctly, when I saw him play a couple of times, I can't say I saw the whole season and every snap, but it seemed to me like there were drops during the times that I watched him. And that's one thing that would be the only concern with Jonnu, or maybe it was just the times I saw him, I saw a couple of drops. But it seemed to me like it was a habitual thing when I watched him, or maybe I'm just bad luck. I have no idea. But maybe you could look it up, Sean. I don't know if that can be found. That's about the only knock I can find on it. The one thing I will tell you, I know he's an FIU kid, so we get the whole Homer thing and all that. I like him, but I'm not convinced that he's a number 1. I think he's more of a really, really good number 2 complementary type of tight end. And I told you that they're going to upgrade that position this offseason. And I am dead set on them getting a number 1 guy. Okay. I think they are going to search and try to get a number 1 guy. Lofi says Jonnu was a drop machine. Okay. So you saw it too? That's the only thing that I remember watching. Yes, sir.
All right. So I'll go back to the Titans in 2018. He had 30 targets, dropped 3.
It's not much.
Titans 44, dropped 2.
Not much.
65, dropped 3.
Okay.
45, dropped 4. 38, dropped 2. And last season, 70, dropped 4.
Okay. My bad. It wasn't, it wasn't anything above average or anything like that. That's all right. That's not bad. 70 and drop 4. That's not bad. So my bad. I'm wrong. So it was just maybe that the game, I was the bad luck. By the way, if it happens here, then you can blame it on me.
That, or maybe what you consider a drop.
I didn't notice that in other years. It was just last year that it happened that when I would watch Jonnu Smith, he would drop a ball. I'm like, damn, dropped it again. And it stays in my memory bank. And I'm like, hey, so it must have been the games that I watched. It's not too bad.
Or maybe what you considered a drop, they didn't mark as a drop. I mean, I don't know how they, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like there could be other passes where they didn't see it as a drop, but it probably was a drop.
The second ball that Tyreek dropped against Kansas City in the first game. Example. Correct? A little behind, but he still should have caught it. But you could say, okay, it wasn't a great pass, so let's not call it a drop. Right? That's what you're talking about. I got you. Okay. I like that. I think that makes sense. I can go with that. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? By the way, let me give this to you early and get it out of the way. Let's do a little birthdays today. First of all, Mike McDaniel is 41 years old today. So happy birthday to the man born in Aurora, Colorado on this date 41 years ago. Let's go with birthdays. Tyler, the Creator, the rapper, is 33. Shaquille O'Neal is 57. Michelangelo was born on this date, the painter, in 1475, died in 1564. How about that? Not that anybody really cares. Martin Cove, movie actor, 78 years old. Always plays a bad guy. David Gilmour, one of the good guys of Pink Floyd, 78 years old today. D.L. Hughley is 60. Wow, he is 61? Seriously? Man, time flies. Holy shit, he is 61. I don't know who Megan Barton Hansen is, the model, but she's pretty, dude. Wow. Connie Britton, TV actress, is 57. Josh Hart, basketball player, is 29. And those are the folks celebrating birthdays today. Let's go with music history. In 76 on this date, Fleetwood Mac released the Stevie Nicks pen single Rihanna. In 89, Aerosmith singer Steven Tyler became a father for the third time when his daughter, Chelsea Ann Tyler, was born. In 2004, David Crosby was arrested for leaving a bag of marijuana, a knife, and a loaded gun in a hotel room in New York. Don't you know not to leave your drugs and guns in hotels? Come on, David. In 2006, because it was leaked early, Pearl Jam decided to make their new single, Worldwide Suicide, available as a free download from their website without digital rights management restrictions. And that, my friends, is what happened today in Musica history. Big O, did you catch SNL? That chick was, oh, yes. She's from Iraq. I noticed. It's always attractive when women are from Iraq. So yeah, she had the world exploding and social media. Yeah. We tend to pay a lot of attention to women from Iraq. Yeah. Hope you're catching what I'm actually talking about. Because we're certainly not talking about the country. So, yes, I saw it. How can you miss them? The only stock I see growing like crypto is NVIDIA. Crazy growth. Yes. Basically. And NVIDIA still isn't growing like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at another level. Oh, can you please explain how the jumps in value and overall use of Bitcoin in the long run is inevitable in the United States economy, despite corrupt politicians not wanting it to become the future? You got to understand the corrupt politicians, like Elizabeth Warren, she's paid by the banks. All these banks, JP Morgan and Chase and all this, they're the ones that fund her campaigns. Okay, they're the biggest ones. So this is all corruption. But see, the problem is they can't control Bitcoin. It's immutable. They can't do anything about it. They can't change it. They can't alter it. They can't add more. They can't do anything. They can't print more. They can't do anything. So it's not government, controlled. It's for everyone and anyone. You can either mine it or buy it. So it's the ultimate freedom, and it puts all of us at an even level playing field. This is why those of us that kind of see what's coming, we keep kind of telling you buy, because the rich people are now buying. The regular person like you and me was able to buy for 14 years. Now we have, here in year 15, we have institutional money coming in. And so this thing is just going to grow in value because it's scarcity. You're going to be able to mine more gold. Everywhere, all over the world, you'll find more gold every day. You'll mine more silver. Bitcoin's already past the value of silver. It's going to be more than the market value of gold. And it'll continue to grow because of its scarcity. And so it's going to be used for transactions, to buy stuff in other countries. A lot of other people, like yours truly, will use it as a store value to save, like gold, except it's different than gold. It's a lot easier to move. And a lot of people out there, you own gold by paper. I'm not sure you literally own the gold that they say they have for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's another thing that gold and silver can be manipulated. You cannot manipulate Bitcoin. There is no way. And this is why the smart people and the rich people and the powerful people figured it out, and they understand the scarcity and the value of it. And so people are going to use it for themselves to better themselves. Countries are going to use it to improve their reserves because it is a digital asset that has been mastered like nothing has ever been mastered before. And this was genius the way it was created. So I'm telling you, this is going to continue to grow. Crypto will grow, blockchain will grow, Web3 will grow, and everything will move into that space. Everything. From Tesla to your barber. Doesn't matter who it is. Everyone will be on the blockchain. And Bitcoin will be the currency of the world and the store value at the same time. So as long as it's continued to be used as currency, the value is going to continue to skyrocket. And, every 4 years, less and less Bitcoin is made. So the people standing in line to buy it is going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's going to look like we're in the depression of the 20s when there's 4-block line for a little bit of milk. Okay? And not everybody's going to get the milk. Same thing here. That's why I've been telling you for 3 years to stack and stack and stack and buy $5 here or $10 there or 50 or 500 or 5,000, whatever you can afford, because in the end, this is just going to be the ultimate. All dollars are dying all over the world. Every dollar is dying. We just added $1 trillion to our deficit in the last 100 days. Our interest payment alone on our deficit is in the billions. It's crippling. So all you got to do is look at it. Dollars are crumbling. Ours will eventually. So this will outlast all of that. Anyway, there you go. Hour number 1 is done. Give us 1 minute. Matt Verderame starts hour number 2 next.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-NE.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, there he is, Matt Verderame, ready to start off hour number 2. How you doing, my man? You feeling good?
I'm good. My youngest daughter woke me up at 5:20 this morning, so could have done without that. But we're living, we're surviving, we're okay. How are you?
That happened to me the last 2 mornings. It wasn't my daughter. I just woke up like around 4:45, and I never went back to sleep again.
Oh,
but no, it's my problem that I'm at right now. I've been in my house for over a month because I can't move because of my foot, my operation. So I've been in a boot and so I live on a bed basically because I can't walk, I can only hop around or whatever. So I end up taking naps throughout the day because I'm watching television. I'll just fall asleep or whatever. And so when it comes to nighttime or sleeping, I can't, today I was lucky. Today I slept till 6:30 and I woke up and I was like, all right, well, whatever. I got a couple extra this time around. So I feel you. But it's just, I got 2 more weeks of hell and then hopefully I'm out of this boot.
There you go. Well, good. I hope you get out of the boot. I hope it works out for you. I contemplated giving my kid away this morning when I heard her at 5:20. I was like, are you serious with this? Like who made you like this? So I was not thrilled. And then she was loud enough. She woke up my oldest daughter. And at that point, it was off the tracks. So here I am.
That is awesome. All right. So we've got a torn fan base, I guess, because of the whole Christian Wilkins thing. Right. Even though I warned them for months that he was going to get released and there wasn't going to be a tag. So I said it for months here that not happening. So we nailed that again on that one. And to me, I actually kind of broke it down. If you look at his 9 sacks, they came practically all of them against bad teams. And he really hasn't been a sack artist. And if you want $25 million, I got to give it to a guy that's constantly going to get me those sacks. I just don't believe he's that guy. Good, very good player, but not a great player. I'm not paying you great money. I don't have a problem letting him go. Your thoughts from an outsider's point of view on the Christian Wilkins situation?
So I guess kind of like your fan base. I'm a little torn. On one hand, I do think he's a very good football player. I've thought that for years, not just this past year, because he is so good inside on all downs. So I think he's a very, very good player. I think he also makes the rest of that front better because you have to give him attention. I also do think it is true that as a pass rusher, last year far and away was the best year he's had. There's no arguing that if you look at his sack totals and some of the other metrics. I think he's probably worth right in that $22 to $25 million range based on cap going up, all the other D tackle contracts we've seen. Now, you could argue it's more like 20 because he's more in the Javon Hargrave area and Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver didn't get 20. So you could argue that and be reasonable. I think it's a significant loss. I don't think it's like, oh my God, Miami's going 6-11 next year. But I think it's a significant loss. Whenever I looked at the Dolphins, I thought he was one of the best players in the team.
Oh yeah, for sure. And again, this is part of adding Weaver as your new defensive coordinator. And we don't know what he sees and what he wants to do. So that's the other thing that may end up being part of this decision making. Like, no, I think we can do this instead and go with. Problem is, you're paying a guy double that doesn't produce better stats than Zach Sealer. And that's kind of crazy to give a guy 25 when the guy you're paying less than 11 outplayed you last year. You know, that's effed up.
Well, you're right. I mean, look, Sealer had a great year at 10 sacks, but to your point about Wilkins, like
he had an interception, he had a touchdown, he had more forced fumbles.
He did.
You know, like he had a better. I think he might have had more solo tackles, maybe. But he just had a better year overall. And it's hard to pay one guy 11 and then go pay the other guy who produces slightly less, not by much, but you're giving him double the money, dude. Then you're gonna have, if Sealer goes out and busts out again, you know he's knocking your door, going, no, we got to rework this thing. You're paying that guy 25, and I produce more than he does. That creates a problem.
Well, their numbers last year are really similar. Like if you go and look at them, so I mean, Wilkins had one more quarterback hit. He had one less tackle for loss. He had 6 more solo tackles, and he had 1 fewer sack. I mean, they're very similar. The one thing, though, that's interesting, though, is very much like Wilkins. Sealer was not a pass rusher really before last year. I mean, he never had more than 3.5 sacks. So, look, it's tough. I think, Wilkins is going to be in demand because if Chris Jones doesn't get to the market, he's the best defensive tackle out there because Matt BK was tagged. And if Jones does get to free agency, then somebody's going to pay Jones $30 million a year. And then Wilkins will get his. And if Jones leaves Kansas City, I wouldn't be surprised if Wilkins goes to Kansas City, honestly. I mean, the Chiefs are going to have they basically have you and me right now at D tackle if Jones leaves. So they're going, even with your foot, they're starting you. So
yeah, but I don't believe that, dude. I think Jones is staying, dude. Please.
If I had to bet $1,000, would say that I think that
Snead could get ugly. Okay, that one you may have to part ways.
Snead, I think they're going to trade. But here's the rub of all that, not to go down that road. If they don't get Chris Jones back, then I think they'll pay Snead. Right. I think they'll, then they'll, okay, fine, pay him. But the Jones thing, if I had to bet $1,000, I wouldn't, first off. But I would say, okay, yeah, I think they'll figure it out. Every day that passes is one more day that it's more and more difficult to see it happen. Because if he gets to the open market, he's gone. They are not going to pay him what some other team will pay him. They won't. Like, they're not going to give him over $30 million a year. It's not going to happen. And I can see the Texans or the Raiders or somebody like that going, we'll give you 4 and 120. And the Chiefs are not giving him 4 and 120. So I think, with every passing day, the odds of him staying in Kansas City decrease just a little bit.
I think it's a gamble to sign him, another team. I almost feel like you'll get the guy that he's got his championships and he's here to collect his big ass check. If he stays in Kansas City, I think he plays with that passion that you need every down. If he goes to another team, I think it'll be a really dangerous scenario for another team. I think you might get a good year out of him. And then after that, I could see a guy that says, man, I've already paid my dues. I've got my championship. I'm kind of coasting here. That's the thing. I don't know. What do you think? You've been more around Chris Jones than I ever will be. What do you think about that?
I think he'll still play really hard. I think the thing that would be hard for Chris, just knowing him just a little bit, is he is so competitive. He's so obviously you're that level of a player, you're that competitive. If he goes to a team that's not good,
that's what I mean.
That is going to be. I don't think he'd be a malcontent by any means. He's a great guy. No. I think he'd be miserable. If he goes to the Raiders and they're going 6-11 every year, and the Chiefs are still beating them, and I just think he will be like, F this, man.
Although he fits with that head coach,
he does. I wrote one of my pieces last week at SI. If the Chiefs don't sign him, I think the Raiders should. I think the Raiders should give him every dime he wants. That would be the thing. If he goes to like Houston or something and he's in the mix, I think he'll be great. I still think he'll be great if he goes to a bad team. I just think personally he would be miserable. I think it would drive. I mean, he was miserable with them. There were multiple games this year where he was screaming at other guys on that defense, and they were 3 series into the game, including the Super Bowl, by the way. Where he just doesn't put up with it. So I will tell you this. I think if they lose him from their standpoint,
oh God. Yeah, no.
you're not recovering from that.
Yeah, you're not the same team anymore because
you're then going to have to go back the other way and say we're going to score 35 points a game because
you're losing Mahomes, basically. He's Mahomes on defense, bro.
Yeah, right. I mean, I just don't see. Look, I'm not dumb enough to sit here and say they couldn't win a Super Bowl. I mean, they have Mahomes, like they could, but it will become much more difficult. And defensively, they will go from second in the league, I would think, to outside the top 10. That guy changes everything about the team.
They won because of the defense this year.
They did, no question. No question.
Defense is what carried the Chiefs this year. Even though they have Pat Mahomes, it's the effing defense that was a monster. They were way more consistent than the offense, and you could count on them on a consistent basis week in and week out, bro.
Yes.
So to me, that Chris Jones, you can't. I don't think they lose Chris Jones, bro. I think he wants it. Just you get a feeling like he where he really could have left the last time. Where this time, I think he's kind of in a place like, bro, this is a great place for me to finish my legacy and add another championship or two and stay with this guy. And I think for him, I think he's reached, it's a business and then he's got to play hardball with his agent and all that bullshit. But I don't know, man. I kind of get the feeling that those two are going to come to an agreement. I really do.
I would tend to agree. I will say one thing that I think if there's a tiebreaker, he really wants to be there.
Of course.
Like he really, privately also, like really wants to be in Kansas City.
He passionately loves that place.
Yes, he does. Well, because he loves Spags and he loves Joe Cullen as defensive line coach. And I think there's a real, we need to get it done here. The question is, do they offer enough to make that happen? But I think if they get close, I will tell you last year during that whole holdout, we talked about this a lot, but that holdout did not end well for him. And he was pretty vocal about the fact he wasn't thrilled the way everything went down. I just think in the end, if they're close, I think he is going to be the tiebreaker personally and say, look, get this done. I'm done with this. Like, get this contract done. Which I know for fans, you might say, like, well, wouldn't that happen everywhere? A lot of players just are told by their agents, hey, look, this is the highest amount of money, and they sign it. I think with Jones, I think he's a little more invested in this, being the last big deal he's going to sign. And I think if he can get a reasonably fair deal here, I think he'll sign it. The question is, will the Chiefs give it to him? So far, they haven't.
You're expecting somebody to give Wilkins 25 plus? Because I think somebody will. I think a lesser team that wants to make a splash.
I think 25 is that real high water mark. I think it's like between 22 and 25. Yeah. Okay. But I think somebody's going to give it to him. I mean, $490, something like that. I mean, the weird thing with Wilkins, though, is, he's coming off that rookie deal, but he's 29 years old. Like, it's not like he's 26 coming off a rookie deal.
Right.
So
this is his last contract, like big contract. After that,
he came into the league.
He's playing year to year or maybe a 2-year deal.
Right, no question. I mean, he came into the league as a much older rookie than most guys. So, I do think somebody will give it. I'm not kidding. I think Kansas City loses Jones. I think they'll sit there and offer him $490. I mean, they're going to need him. But the one thing that is interesting about all D tackles this year, and Chris Jones probably the exception because of who he is, but look at all the guys who've signed the D tackle in the last year, right? I mean, so Matt Verderame, he got tagged, but you have him out there who now is under contract at a big number. You have Deron Payne. You have Jeffrey Simmons. You have Dexter Lawrence. You have Quinnen Williams. I mean, Javon Hargrave signed for big money. I mean, you've seen a lot of defensive tackles get paid, and they were all right in that one window, right around $25 million. Hargrave was $20. That is precluding maybe a guy like Leonard Williams out of Seattle or Wilkins getting huge money because a lot of these teams that have already wanted to spend money on that position have done it. So, right. We'll see what happens. I do think, though, yes. I think some team will offer him, 22, 24 a year, something like that.
I've been saying that the Dolphins should go after Derrick Henry because I kind of think they need a thunder to Mostert and Achan's lightning. And maybe that would actually convince Mike McDaniel at times to stick with the run. So he's got, that monster there. So you look at the running back market. Brother, there's going to be 10 running backs on the market, a ton of running backs. How bad is that for the running back class that's available in free agency? Because one, the league doesn't value that position anymore. They don't really like to pay money to that position. And now there's going to be a shit ton of running backs available.
Yeah, there are. I mean, when you look at the market, we just did our top 50 list over at SI, the top 50 free agents with projections, by the way. So you go have fun, check that out. I would say that the running back market's fascinating because the draft class for running backs is atrocious. Like, I have not met with one person in the league who says that they think this is a good class of backs. It's not. But there are a lot of veterans out there. Tony Pollard's out there, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, on down the line. There are a lot. There are a lot of guys. There's another guy I'm not even thinking. Josh Jacobs is hitting the market. So there's, I believe, 5 in our top 50.
Yes.
There's a lot. Henry, look, I don't expect any of these guys to get paid big money.
By the way, Tony Pollard, Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, A.J. Dillon, DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, right. And I forgot about Swift. And the other guy who's not a free agent but could very well become one soon here is Joe Mixon. So, I mean, you're talking about a ton. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, toss him there. He hasn't been good, but he's a name. Like, there's a lot of guys. Zach Moss was good last year in Indianapolis. Really good. Yeah. I don't think anybody's getting paid, man. Maybe Barkley's the exception just because he's a name and all that. But like even him
or Henry.
The only thing is Henry's older. Is anybody going to give Henry more than like 2 years. Guaranteed year? I could see it being 2 years, but like it's like one in an option, basically.
Right. Maybe a 3-year deal where it's kind of really a 2-year deal, and that third year is kind of to play with the ball.
He's older. Look, I don't hate the idea of putting him on Miami. I think he'd be very interesting.
Dude, he's still phenomenal. Go look at the stats.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing that at all. I just
play without a quarterback. And I want you to look at something. He's a smart son of a bitch, because go look at his pass catching numbers. They were mediocre for many years. Something happened the last 2 years. He must have been campaigning to catch the ball more. Go look at his catching numbers. His receiving numbers went way up in the last 2 years. And I think he kind of knew that he was going to become a free agent, and he wanted to kind of showcase that he could catch. So he actually is a better receiver, because I didn't look at him much as a receiver either. But then I was watching him, how he's, catching the ball more. And I'm like, okay, maybe somebody will be more attracted to him because he's not so one. I know he's dominant in the one dimension, but if he can also pass catch, then that helps your offense. That helps your play caller, all that kind of stuff. So to me, Derrick Henry is one of those guys that is kind of sneaky, still nasty.
Listen, I'm all for getting Derrick Henry if I can get him for a year and maybe get out of it after 2. But
you guys have won enough, all right? You've won enough.
No, I'm not talking about the Chiefs.
Okay. I'm treating you like Tom Brady in the MGM commercial.
Listen, the Chiefs. No, my God, no, the Chiefs. If anybody, I'd like to see the Chiefs go after Eckler because he'll catch 80 passes from Mahomes. I think Henry would be great, man. I'm just saying, if I'm a GM in the league, like I'd love to get him for a year. If I had to pay him for 2 years, I'd be on the fence about it. My biggest concern with him is he's just, my God, the guy is taking the ball more than anybody in football for the last 5 years or so.
College too. No.
Yeah, right. Even in high school, he had a ton of carries.
Bro, Nick ran his ass into the ground. Dude.
Yes. Wasn't there a game against LSU years ago? He ran like 44 times or some ridiculous thing. I mean, look, he is, to me, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a great player. And if you can get him for a year, I definitely do it. If you can get him for 2, okay, maybe. But no, I think he'd be a good fit. And I think Barkley gets paid the most. The guy I'm interested on is Jacobs, because Jacobs won the rushing title in 2022. And last year was awful. Like literally one of the worst running backs statistically in the NFL last year, who got more than like 150 carries. What does he get? Like, does anybody give him more than a 1-year deal? That's because you got to think Jacobs was a guy that they declined the option on him.
Yeah.
And then he went out and won the rushing title.
Yeah,
And then to tag
I
him.
never understood the lack of respect for Josh Jacobs in the Raiders. I never understood that. And around the league, I think at times people didn't appreciate him as a player. And I think he needs to go somewhere where they can showcase him, because I think he's got crazy skills, dude.
I would love to see him behind a really good offensive line. Like, if I'm the Cowboys, I'd be like, hey, Josh, you want to come over here for 2-18? Like, we'll put you behind an offensive line that actually can move some people and see what happens. I'm with you. Like, the Raiders' offensive line outside of Colton Miller.
Oh, and you didn't have a quarterback.
Right. So everybody's 8 in the bottom.
An offensive line, they're looking at it going, oh, it's only Jacobs. All we got to do is double the receiver, and let's just focus on Jacobs, double the receiver, and it's over. There's nothing else to do with the Raiders. You're done.
No, I don't disagree. It'd be interesting to see how that would shake if he actually got to a team that could block. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who gets paid, if anybody, out of this running back class, because there's a lot of vets out there. And as you know, over the last couple of years, who's getting paid? Nobody's getting paid. Nobody. I mean, Jonathan Taylor had to go to the mat to get a new contract. It's not a good time to be a running back in the NFL.
Yeah, no, that's why I asked, because one, I want Henry here. I think Henry would be the perfect fit for this scheme, and maybe it'll give Mike a little bit more discipline on staying with the run, because you can punish the shit out of people with that guy. Plus the play action that would come Tua's way would be so freaking glorious, dude. It would be so fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, having Henry there, that would be absolutely amazing. What did you hear in the combine? What'd you hear about any free agents? You hear anything on the Dolphins side? Well, give me some nuggets. Give me something that you heard from the combine.
Yeah, look, you hear a lot of stuff. I mean, a few of the things kind of just going around the league. A lot of people believe that Denver loves Bo Nix and could take him at 12. That would be interesting. I mean, Peyton openly talks about wanting a guy that plays from the pocket primarily. Well, Bo Nix fits that. I think there's an expectation that Bo Nix is going to go off the board right around that spot. So that's one thing. Staying with quarterbacks in the draft, Caleb Williams for the Bears is the biggest slam dunk in the world. This idea that the Bears aren't going to take him, they're going to trade out.
On number 2, bro. That's really being number 2 is the tough decision.
Yes. Drake May, Jaden Daniels. Yes.
The number 1 that's not even a conversation.
You'd be amazed how many people they'll come up to you and go, well, what do you think they're going to do? I mean, I'm based out here in Chicago. Believe me. That is a question I get every single day from people who know what I do for a living. And I tell them every single day, you're taking Caleb Williams. That's what's going to happen. The more interesting nugget out of that is the market for Fields has not developed the way they were hoping. And so are they going to are they still going to get a second? Are they going to have to take a third? That's something to keep in mind. Then last round, the quarterbacks in the draft, J.J. McCarthy, a lot of people think might work his way into the top 10. The other thing that's interesting that I wrote in my notebook,
I have a problem with all those guys that high. Penix, JJ.
Penix is the wild card. Some people think he's a top 15 pick. Some people wouldn't take him until 40. So Penix
I all those guys at the back end of the first round, second, because I think they're all projects. Quite frankly,
I tend to agree with you. I agree with you.
It's not that I don't like them.
No, I agree with you.
I like some of their traits, but I would probably take them all.
Yes.
In the back end of the first round, second round, right around there. That's where I would not take you top 10 or 12 or whatever.
But no position gets overdrafted like quarterback. So we're gonna watch those guys go off the board early. The other thing is I talked to a handful of people who said, this draft offensively is insane. Like there's actually a world here where the top 10 picks are all offensive players. Now I don't know that that's going to happen. I think Dallas Turner might get in that top 10. I think there's a few other guys, who might get in that top 10. Jared Verse being another guy. But I'll tell you, I went back and looked. There has never been a year since the AFL-NFL merger where all top 10 picks were all on one side of the football, ever. And so that would be a first. I wrote that in my notebook for SI last week. But that's something to consider. And then as far as the Dolphins, I think the one guy that Wilkins, it was kind of believed might hit the market. The one guy who was interesting was Andrew Van Ginkel. What happens with him? And there's not really a consensus. Some people, it's the Dolphins are capped out right now. They might have to let him walk and hope Chubb comes back early. And then other people are like, look, he's too important and he's a nice piece and he's not going to break the bank. If I'm the Dolphins, I'd sign Van Ginkel.
I think they're going to sign. And by the way, they're not capped out. They have a ton of flexibility. That is just an overblown statement by people.
That usually is an overblown statement, depending on what team you're talking about. I mean, usually there's a lot of teams that have, in
2 years they will have. In 2 years, they will have problems. But right now, they have all the flexibility that they need. People are just, making shit up. Sensationalism sells. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Do you think? I'll throw a question on you. Do you think they're going to extend Tua?
In the
next by the draft.
No, by the draft.
By the draft. Okay.
It's too complicated, dude. You know this. It's too complicated to finish a QB contract at this point.
Every once in a while, it happens, though.
Yeah, it happens.
It does happen. I think Dak had his done like this time of year. A few other guys. So I was curious. Yeah.
But I can see Jerry wanting to make the splash and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I think this is going to take a little bit, but I think it will be done by the draft. There's no doubt in my mind because they don't get the X money till June. So they have to open up this space to kind of finish everything out. What I'm looking at is I'm wondering if there's going to be a deal between them and Rob Hunt shortly here. Because if they didn't tag him, because I thought there would be a chance that they would tag him just to kind of hold him and try to work out the deal and not let him get out to the open market. I wonder if they're close on a deal already and they're close to announcing it. And that's why they didn't tag him and didn't have to use the tag on him. That's one guy there. But I think AVG will be re-signed by them.
I think it should be.
Because of the Phillips and Chubb thing.
Yes.
You don't know when you're getting those guys back. You got to have him there helping you in the pass rush while those guys are out.
I agree. I'm curious to see how Greer goes about opening up the money because right now they still have to open up like 20, a little less than 20. So
they have plenty of options to do it.
Oh, they do. Of course. Listen, you can always, you can always restructure a guy. You can always extend the guy. I mean,
there's guys to cut still. There's still guys to cut that they can open up more space to.
They can. I mean, so no, listen, I'm with you. I think a lot of times this time of year, all that stuff's overblown, but it's always kind of interesting to watch how it all falls.
Yeah. What do you got going on Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out?
Man, I've been doing nothing but writing about free agency. So the top 50 list is now out and live. Went out right after the tag deadline yesterday. That was fun, by the way, as we were rewriting about 8 of those posts because they kept tagging players. We really should have anticipated a little better. But that's live. That's up. And then next week, I'm going to be doing grades. And also, like, grades are kind of my baseline thing that I'll be doing because you got to do it. But then I'm going to have columns going out. Myself and Connor Orr for us are going to be writing the main takeaways and reactions. Like, if there's a big signing, we'll have a takeaway for you in a column form. So I hope people will check that out.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter at Matt Verderame. Matt, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
You got it. There you go. Matt Verderame, always getting it done. Sean, do me a favor. Give me a 2-minute break here. Rest the voice. Back in 2 minutes right here on the Big O Radio Show. So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The 2 dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. Cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
We back. By the way, I saw something on the chat board that somebody said if I'm worried about the government making laws against crypto. No, I'm not worried about it. Eventually, the idiots that we have now in office, because Biden's a cancer for crypto, and And it's not because they don't understand it. It's just because they're being evil, and they don't want the average person to get ahead in life. So they'd rather you get tied to our dollar and our crippled and corrupt banking system. So I get the attempts, but it won't be any good because there's a lot of people already in the government that own crypto and they own Bitcoin and Ethereum and they understand it, and so you have people already that understand the positive of it and how much we need it actually as a society, that it can help us, that it can improve our daily lives and businesses and everything else, because the use caseage of it is crazy. It's automatic that we go in that direction, but we have the politics are in the way, and unfortunately, again, I don't care about Democrats or Republicans, so please don't freak out whenever I rip one or the other or both or whatever. I don't care if you're a butthurt Democrat or a butthurt Republican or Trumpy or whatever the hell, or progressive or whatever it is. I don't give a shit about any of you, to be quite honest. I don't care about the politics. The politics are all garbage, and both groups are garbage, and they both are not looking out for you. And I don't care if you're stupid enough to believe that you think they are. Okay? That's your freaking problem. But just so you'll know, I don't care about either. But right now, the Democrats lead the Republicans in stupidity when it comes to crypto. There are more Republicans that actually understand crypto and are positive about Bitcoin and crypto, and they get it. And there are some Democrats, but less, because too many of them are kind of stuck into this whole banking shit and trying to save our dollar, which no dollar is salvageable. None. They're all crumbling. Every one of them. Because it's all debt driven. It's funny, like, how can you run your household on debt? How can you run your business on debt? Yet these assholes, all they do is run our government on debt. We just had a vote for a seat for Dianne Feinstein. Okay? That woman lived into her 90s. They had to get somebody to manage her money because she was too old to manage her money. But she wasn't old enough to manage our money. Like, she's barely has enough strength to be alive, and we have her in Congress. Like, what the hell is going on, dude? So this is all a bunch of garbage, but I don't expect them to do anything. You know why? The world will pass us up, and they can't afford to do that anymore. That's why the Bitcoin ETFs were approved, because they've lost all the lawsuits. They've lost every single one. They can't win a lawsuit against crypto. Why? It's unethical what they're trying to do. That's the problem. The people in charge right now, it's unethical what they're trying to do. But then again, doesn't matter what party is in charge. They're always doing unethical things. And the smarter all of you get to realize that, then the better off you're going to be. Now you pick a side, you made a mistake. You made a mistake. You should have chosen Americans, not an elephant or a donkey, and certainly not a progressive or a MAGA. That shit is cancer. Those two groups, now that's a freaking clown show. So I expect crypto to run them over, because the rest of the world's going to move ahead of you, and we can't allow that. So eventually they'll get it going. And this is why, again, the average person is going to fall behind like they always do, because now the rich and powerful are going to take over. And they're going to make Bitcoin unaffordable for most people. It's crazy. Anyway, what do we have here? Also on the chat board, Krillian says, I've heard Big O's legitimate critique of Wilkins, but he is the heart of that line. We are taking our ability to stop the run for granted, and Sealer doesn't do what he did last year without Wilkins. Well, we'll find out now, won't we? Because he'll be without Wilkins. And then we'll find out how good this defense is. let's see what happens next year. Because I don't think he's going to be as missed as much as you guys think he's going to be missed. I could be wrong. I've been wrong 1,000 times before, but I'm going to say he's not going to be nearly as missed as some of you think. We'll see. Let's see. Sign Autry, average DE, and Jefferson DT. That's $25 million in 3 positions. I want Jacobs over Henry. Jacobs is a baller. He is a baller. If you get Josh Jacobs, I'm good with that too. I have no problem with that. I want Derrick Henry, but if Josh Jacobs is available and you can get him, I think the Dolphins would do very well with Josh Jacobs. Draft a running back from Rutgers. Yes, he looks like a player, the guy from Rutgers. I don't like Derrick Henry, says Lou. He has a ton of mileage. Those legs have taken a beating, and he's still delivering. He's a freak, bro. He's the LeBron James of football. He still has it, bro. Still has it. Let's see what else. Maybe we wake up as a country. I doubt that, dude. 67. We have so many gullible people. I mean, think about it, bro. You have an idiot that complains about an election that wasn't at all right, and you have a whole bunch of morons that believe him, and they still believe him to this day. So it's not a very smart country. You know what I mean? You got people that actually think Elizabeth Warren is productive when she doesn't pass a bill. She doesn't do anything. She's just a rabble rouser. She just runs her mouth. We're not very bright in this country, bro. Not very bright. I mean, think about it. Biden and Trump are our candidates. The 2 worst candidates in the history of presidency. And we got to vote for those 2 clowns again? Come on, bro. Give me a break. We're not very bright. Important question. If Sean Kemp can get fat on cocaine, can Zion lose weight eating empanadas? That's a good one. That's a tough one right there. So, Dolphins can't afford their own players, much less a Derrick Henry. Hey, Jimmy, whoever you're listening to or watching or reading, stop. Okay? Because they're stupid, and then you sound stupid. Just want you to know that, my brother. Okay? You're repeating what another clueless person said. Okay? Because you're just parroting. Because that's a stupid statement. They can afford their own players and they can afford other players. But you got to make decisions. Wilkins is not worth that money. I'm sorry, the linebacker is not worth that money. You got to part ways. He's injured, and you're saving yourself $10 million. You got to move on. Weaver probably wants something else. Whoever you're listening to or reading or watching, okay, they're misinforming you. They got plenty of cap space. They've got plenty of flexibility. Money will not be an issue. They can do whatever the hell they want this offseason. But you got to do the right moves. And the right moves is not signing Christian Wilkins to that monster contract. Go get somebody else and replace him. Jonnu Smith is a backup, my brother. Jonnu Smith is not going to be your starter. I think Jonnu Smith is a number 2. And then it moves Smythe to a number 3 spot. Tyler Kroft is gone, and Julian Hill now will have to really show something if he wants to make this team, because they're going to go get a number 1 tight end. With Wilkins gone, do you see them re-signing Davis for depth purposes? They could do it on the cheap. I don't know. I mean, they just signed the Isaiah Mack guy for depth purposes. I'm sure he's going to be battling for that final spot at the defensive tackle spot. Who makes the best empanadas? Colombia, Argentina, Cuba, Jamaica. Well, we got no resources in Cuba, so we're out. Colombia, Argentina, and Jamaica. See, but Jamaica is not an empanada. Even though it's kind of like an empanada, but it's different. It's not really the same. A Jamaican patty and an empanada, I get it. They kind of look the same, but it's different. I don't know, man. I love Jamaican patties. Not the really spicy ones because I'm a wimp. The ones with the red dot, I'm out, bro. Or the green dot. It's the green dot, right? I forgot now. Now I get confused. When you go buy the Jamaican patties, which is the really hot one? Because now I'm thinking it might be the green one for the jalapeno instead of red being red hot. Now I'm confused. I need I need an official Jamaican to fill me in on that. Do the hot ones, do we put the green or the red dot? I forgot. God, I love Jamaican patties. That shit is dangerous. Like, I like empanadas, but I got to say, I'd rather have a Jamaican patty. I got to say, Jamaican patties are delicious, dude. Green dots is spicy. There you go, Akaris. Thank you, sir. Okay. They're all great, but the Argentine empanadas would be my choice personally. I got to plead ignorance. I've never had an Argentine empanada. Where can I get a good one? I got to try it. Where's the Argentine empanada in Miami or Kendall? Kendall would be good. I can treat myself. I lost a little weight. Yeah, look at my face. My face is skinny, dude. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see. It's Colombia for the best empanadas. I've had Colombian empanadas. Do we go with Cuban empanadas, but from South Florida since we have like all the resources? Oh, what's a number one tight end in your eyes? You know what it is. Do I have to tell you? You just got to get a guy that's a baller like Laporta last year. The Bowers kid looks like a number one. But yeah, you got to get something like that. Somebody that can catch the ball a lot. You got to find yourself a playmaker like that. I wonder if Darren Waller is still available since the Giants aren't doing anything. They don't even have a quarterback to throw the ball to him. Argentine ones are delicious. I got to try it, Ray. But you got to tell me where to go so I can try a good Argentine empanada. Red dot is for when you want burning. Okay. Now some people say green and now you say red. I take the Chilean empanadas. Baked, can't beat them. Not crazy about oily meat patties. Gotta taste right bakery for the best Jamaican patties. I love Jamaican patties. So good. Okay, you guys could tell me all you want about Argentine empanadas, the bomb, but you're not giving me a place to go. In Hialeah, you can go to Graziano's. So Graziano's they make Argentine empanadas, is what you're saying. Graziano's doesn't sound Argentine, but then again, Argentine's got a nice mix. Red is beef, ain't it? I thought it was red or green was, the hotter ones. It's the red for the fire, he says. La carreta empanadas. La carreta empanada is really good at like 2 a.m. when you're coming out of the clubs and you need a little food to kind of level yourself off a little bit. And you grab una iromber and an empanada and you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. All right. Isaiah Mack, training camp body. Don't look too much into that pretty much. As I was telling Matt, I wonder if they're close to a deal with Hunt. Because that's one guy I definitely want back in a bad way. And remember I told you maybe there's a chance they can tag him, and obviously that didn't happen, so I was wrong. And I thought, okay, you tag him and then try to work out a deal, because I think Rob Hunt is really important. That would be one that I'm not disappointed about losing Baker. I'm not disappointed about losing Wilkins. There are certain guys professionally I understand the decision. I would be very, very, very disappointed in losing Rob Hunt. Very disappointed in losing Rob Hunt. That's one that I think you need. And especially, if you're going to have a quarterback, you got to protect your quarterback. Let's not do the Andrew Luck thing here. Let's not put Andrew Luck out there to just get pummeled. I definitely don't understand that. You've got a quarterback, whoever it is, you're going to let him take a beating? Yeah, like Joe Burrow? That doesn't make sense. Joe Burrow blew out his knee because he took such a beating. Not this last injury, that first one. That was pure from not having an offensive line. Like, how do you draft a quarterback and not protect him? That makes no sense whatsoever. So it makes zero sense to allow Rob Hunt to hit the open market and lose him. So I hope, I am praying as a Dolphins fan that so much progress has been made in the talks between Hunt and the Dolphins that they didn't have to tag him, and they feel like they can announce it shortly that he's going to be coming back to the Miami Dolphins. Okay. By the way, Hialeah Park right there, $100, no regret first bet. Now, listen, if you already have a Hard Rock account, when you use this and you go to the Hialeah Park website to get the free $100 and open your account, don't use the same email or phone number you use with Hard Rock. Use a different one so you can get the $100 no regret first bet. And it just started a couple days ago. They're giving away an electric Mustang. Okay. Beautiful car. They've given away a Mercedes, a Ford Lightning. They've given away an Alfa Romero. They gave away a Ford Bronco. They gave away a boat. Now they're giving away the electric Mustang. Okay. And how you get in on it? Real simple. They've got the loosest slots in the state as it is. That's all documented by the state website. So you go play a slot machines. Every time you play a slot machine, you get an entry. The more entries, the more chances you have to win that game, win that car. Now, it'll be given away on the last day of March, which is the 30th, I believe, is in March or 30th or 31st. Whatever, the last day it is at 1 a.m., which is really like April 1st at 1 a.m., you know what I mean? But it's really the night of, what is it, March 31st or 30th?
No, I saw a billboard that said the 29th yesterday.
Oh, really?
On the road, so I don't know 100%. Usually is the last day of the month.
Oh, so maybe
that's something else, but it did say the 29th on the billboard.
Yeah, towards the end of the month, they'll give it away. Okay? Maybe the 30th is that 1 a.m. and that's the last day. Is March the 30th? Maybe that's what it is. It's the 29th. It's always really not on the night they say it's because it's at 1 a.m. that they do it. So after midnight, it's really the next day, but it's really the night of the 29th. Okay? Is when you're there at 1 a.m., which is really the 30th.
The 29th would be Friday. The 31st is Sunday. So there's 31 days. But it'd be only Sunday. So maybe they're just doing it on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Into Saturday morning, basically.
Right. So they're doing it Friday night to be Saturday morning, 1 a.m. Okay? But you got to be present to win the car. If they call the name and you're not present, you don't win the car. You got to be present. So go play and then go on at the end of the month and go hang out, have some fun, eat, hang out, and who knows? You might be driving away. You drive away with it right away. It's pretty cool. Big O Try La Pex Bakery on Miramar Parkway and State Road 7, right next to 7 Nightclub. Their pastries include beef, chicken, cod, and smoked herring besides the Haitian bread. Okay. Now, are those Argentine Empanadas. I'm gonna take a picture of it and everything now, so I have it permanently on my phone, and I can go visit it. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Vaca frita is the best thing ever. Exactly. You don't let a borderline top 5 guard walk out the door. I gotta think I gotta imagine there's progress. If there isn't, that would disappoint me. That would disappoint me. Well, I think Isaiah Wynn might be brought back. So hopefully you'll get Isaiah Wynn back. Orange Bowl arepas were fire. Big O, are you cool with Rob Hunt making 16, 17 million? I don't think he'll make that much, actually. So I'm not sure who told you that, but I don't think he's going to be making that much. Big O, I don't think the Dolphins will be interested in Darren Waller. He was talking about retiring. Oh, that's right. You are right. You're right. He won't. They won't be interested in him because he's kind of gone a little. Yes. You are correct. I forgot about that because I saw it also. He's had some moments where he has shown some unbalance. You are correct. My bad. You are on target, dude. You're on top of it. I remember seeing that. Not only the retirement stuff, he's been talking some other crazy shit. I forgot about that. Yes, sir.
I don't know. Read into it what you will, but Big E usually doesn't post anything unless it's usually pretty legit Dolphin wise. Okay.
Yeah, he's a great dude, bro.
This morning he said Robert Hunt posted this picture of the Miami Dolphins training facility.
Yeah.
I go to Robert Hunt's Instagram now. That picture has since been deleted.
Yeah, he was at the facility today.
Oh, again, he was probably at the facility today. It's just so
yeah.
Maybe the deal's being worked out.
I don't know. I just kind of get the feeling that if you didn't tag him, then why would you let him just walk? That one doesn't make sense. He's young. He's headed into his prime. He's a really good dude. Got a great vibe, great attitude, works hard, athletic. I have a hard time letting him go. Yes, sir.
Could they use the transition? Well, now they can't, right? Because the tags are done.
Yeah.
But I was going to say put the transitional tag on him and then just match whatever somebody sets.
Well, but they can poison pill it and then really make it different.
That's true. You're right.
I think they didn't do it. I really have a feeling that they're close on a deal. I really do. And I think before free agency opens up, you'll hear about the Dolphins and Rob Hunt coming to an agreement. I just kind of get that feeling that that's what makes sense. This doesn't make sense. Just let him go and let him walk into free agency. That does not make sense. I need to find out what the hell is behind that if that's the case. But again, I'm not going to jump to any conclusions until I actually see. It's kind of like the people that tell you, well, no, next year's team can't be as good as this year's team. Well, why? How do you know that? What moves do you know they're making or not making? I'm sorry, you could tell the entire future? So let's wait. Let's see what they can do. Ow. That hurt. Big O, if we get Derrick Henry, I'm afraid Mike McDaniels won't commit to the run. My biggest fear. Giorgio Cafe, 2296 Coraway, Argentine place. Nice. Okay. And Ray, you are definitely one of the trustworthy ones. That's for sure. Okay, I took a picture of it also. Let's see. Guy made a hydrogen car 100 years ago and they killed him. Who's that? What are you talking about, dude? 67. Dub MCZs. Thank you for the love in the super chat. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin donation, which you know we love those. Oh, thoughts on Jonnu Smith? I like the idea of getting a tight end through free agency and using the draft to refresh our trenches. What do you think will be our focus? Well, I've already talked about this, but you made a donation, so we'll tell you. I think he's going to be a number 2. And I think Smythe gets the number 3. I still think they're going after a number 1. But Jonnu Smith is a nice plan for number 2, just in case something happens. You're not able to get a 1. You can get an athletic speed guy that can help you out at that position. Considering if they do end up signing him, it would be a very good move. Okay. And yes, I think the focus will be in the trenches, linebacker, things like that. I think will be definitely a focus for the Miami Dolphins. Zion's Jamaican patty dots, green dot, avocado and lard, red dot, spicy lard. That's cruel. What do you got, Sean?
The Florida Panthers have made a trade. They have acquired Ottawa Senators forward Vladimir Tarasenko.
Oh, okay.
And they're expected to send multiple mid-round draft picks to Ottawa in return.
What are Tarasenko's stats? He's a pretty good player, dude.
I will look that up right now.
Okay. Isn't that where the other Kachuk is?
Yeah, I saw Ottawa Senators, Florida Panthers trade, and I went, that's why I looked it up.
When you said Ottawa Senators, I was like, holy shit, the brother's coming. And then you mentioned the other guy, and he's a pretty good player. Wow. That's ownership, dude. That's freaking ownership, dude. Love it. Darren Waller has been through a lot, from substance abuse battles to injury to being part of his career. Not surprising he's thinking about retirement. Yeah, the Giants will do that to you. Playing with Daniel Jones will just drive you crazy. Yes, sir.
Turn the mic on. Tarasenko's a little light for the Florida Panthers stat-wise. 17 goals, 24 assists, 41 points. So, yeah.
Player, bro. Good player. Good player, man. That's a great addition to a red-hot smoking team. The best team in the league, and you add another player to add just more depth. You know, another guy to set up some of the shooters. It's freaking fantastic. That's a really good move on their part, man. That's a team and a franchise and a front office and an ownership group that just wants to win. Wow. That's impressive, man. Stephen Harris is in the house. Good afternoon to you, sir. Mike Moynihan says somebody is going to pay Hunt like a guard and put him at tackle. Maybe. Hunt is at the Dolphins facility today, sparking speculation that they're working on re-signing him. Interesting how everybody takes the negative, right? And then I'm like the only one in the media saying, hey, you know, maybe they're actually agreeing to a contract and that's why they didn't tag him. But negativity sells. It's better to rip the team into not tagging or signing Rob Hunt when we don't know if that's happened or not yet. Let's wait. Before we criticize, let's wait. I just kind of get a feeling we're going to get a Rob Hunt signing, dude. Dub MC says always down to support someone who keeps it 100 regardless of how the fan base reacts on Dolphin Twitter. Yeah, I know they get a little emotional. They freaked out on me when that first Buffalo game that I said that was a fraudulent performance, and then there were more fraudulent performances after that. Yeah, they got freaked out on me. It's amazing. It's like, dude, can you just be honest about your team? There's nothing wrong with that. Bringing in young O-linemen and starting them usually has a hole in their games and lacks some of the strength to go up against the NFL. So young O-linemen in a win-now mode might not go easy. Yeah, you're right. We all hope they sign Hunt, man. Let's get to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was on the Pivot podcast, and this is a situation that is starting to get disturbing for the Miami Dolphins. And when people talk about extending and opening up cap space, I think the last person I would do it with is Tyreek Hill from here on out. I think you've got to be thinking about an exit plan with Tyreek Hill, no matter how good he is, because he is developing into a time bomb. Unfortunately, too many incidents are piling on top of each other now. And he's always had a checkered past. That checkered past has become way more checkered now. And he got away and he got lucky in the pier incident. He's also not played up to his potential in dropping a lot of footballs in key moments where he drops footballs. He just had recently an incident with an influencer that he allegedly attacked her and broke her leg. Okay. He obviously has some kind of instability in his relationship because he filed for divorce and then reconciled. The kid burning down the house, whatever. I'll leave that to the talking heads. It's not a big deal. So when I look at the big picture, I start looking at Tyreek on the field, off the field, and yes, he's putting up great stats, but he's also a bit of a distraction. And it's a word that coaches, front office rarely want to hear. And Tyreek Hill is becoming a distraction. He was on the Pivot podcast with Channing and Clark and those guys. And here's how he explains the relationship and where he'd like it to go for the offense and the team. Go ahead, Sean. Fire it off.
That's one thing that our quarterback, he gonna add, you know what I'm saying, to it. Because with Pat, we all had a relationship with Pat. Like, we'll all hang out, we'll all, do stuff outside of football. And in Miami, we're still building that. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't got to that yet. But I'm telling you, this year it's gonna get to that. Because we done had some battles in there, you know what I'm saying, already, but it ain't been a battle where it's like we can have a conversation, but then we can come back the next play and be like, hey, bro, I think you should do that. You know what I'm saying? It's been, nah, fuck you. And then I'll talk to you later. You know what I'm saying? Or the next week. And we don't need that. It need to be like, look, bro, we need to do this, yada, yada, yada. You need to get open. I need to be better. And then we need to come back and then talk about it, not have grudges against each other. Because we all trying to win.
That's the best
We
thing
all trying to win, man. You know what I'm saying? Being able to have them tough conversations, you know what I'm saying, is needed, I feel like, bro. Because that got us better when Pat did it. Yeah. It made me want to kick his ass, but it made me want to get better, man.
Did they hold you back? This is becoming a problem. First of all, Tyreek, you need to focus on yourself, my brother. You need to focus on your personal relationships. You need to focus on your kid. You need to focus professionally on your hands. And by the way, you need to stop getting in trouble. That's what you need to focus on. And as for what relationship you have with Mahomes, that's Pat Mahomes. Tua's going to be his own person. I don't think Tom Brady was partying with, he wasn't going out with Gronkowski and partying up, or he's not out with Aaron Hernandez killing people. Don't think so. I don't think Joe Montana was out partying and having fun. He just did his thing. Joe Montana was Joe Montana, and that's it, bro. I don't think Dan Marino was out, partying like an animal with some other people. He was maybe out with some babes here or there or something, maybe on the down low, going to his own beat, in other words. I could see that with Marino. Maybe he's not hanging out with you. He's hanging out with 4 corporate sponsors, playing a foursome with them, or 3 corporate sponsors playing a foursome and making some extra money. That kind of stuff, that has nothing to do with you not catching the ball against Kansas City when Tua puts it in your hands. That has nothing to do with you fumbling away the game and giving it away to Kansas City the first time. Has nothing to do with you against Buffalo dropping a touchdown in the end zone. And many other drops that have gone on throughout. You're the guy that has an ankle injury and you're doing somersaults. You're the guy that needs to learn how to make better decisions. You should worry about Tyreek Hill, not worry about your teammates' camaraderie or that you need to go out together. You and Tua are not the same person, bro. Tua is not going to break an influencer's leg. He's not going to attack somebody. So you want Tua to go out fishing with you? And then he's involved in that fracas? And he's the one that's trying. Can you imagine Tua being the guy that had to try to stop Tyreek from attacking the man? And then he's on film too? Great. Let's throw our quarterback into this mess too. Does Tua have any fireman skills? Maybe that's why you want to hang around with him. Not exactly sure. You know, sometimes people talk shit to talk shit. And to me, that's kind of what Tyreek Hill does a lot of. He does a lot of talking shit. What you need to do, my brother, is you need to do a lot of reflecting. You got to stop worrying about everybody else and fix your life, dude. Okay? Fix your life. I've never filed for divorce by accident. That doesn't happen to me. Sorry. And I'm 57. 57, I've never had to attack somebody in a pier for no reason at all. Not exactly sure, bro. I mean, if we invite an influencer to our house, I don't think I'm going to break her leg. So, Tyreek, my man, focus on you. You. Focus on your hands. That's what you need to do. You need to stop worrying about everything else. You need to work on you, dude. Tua's not ever in trouble. Waddle's never in trouble. I don't see Durham Smythe in trouble. I don't see Teron Armstead in trouble. I don't see Austin Jackson in trouble. I don't see Connor Williams in trouble. I don't see Rob Hunt in trouble. And he's got a shit ton of energy like you. He's a little wild. He paints his nails. Never any trouble with Robert Hunt. It's interesting. Braxton Berrios. That's it. The only thing you ever see Braxton Berrios do is he's sitting with a babe next to him. That's how you catch Braxton Berrios. He doesn't need to hang out with you either, bro. Oh, and by the way, I just want you to know, Tyreek, I don't think you and Waddle jive at all. I don't think you two are the same. Just so you'll know. I don't think you're anything like Berrios. I don't think you're anything like Waddle. I don't think you're anything like Tua. So I'm not sure what you're searching for. Okay? But what you're searching for is a mirror. All right? In the mirror. In the mirror. Sing a little interrupters for you. Take a look in the mirror, Tyreek. Don't try to fix others. Fix yourself, dude. Because you, sir, are becoming a distraction for the Miami Dolphins. No matter how good you are. All right. Let's see. Hello, Big O. I just opened a crypto app on my phone. I have 1,000. What do you suggest I buy? 40% Bitcoin, 30% Ethereum. So you said 1,000, right? 400 Bitcoin, 300 Ethereum, and I'm not a financial advisor, by the way. Just want you to know that. I want you to put 100 on Chainlink, 100 on Polygon, and 100 on Hedera, H-bar, Hedera hash graph, H-bar. It's at 12 cents right now. It's going to run more, a lot more. And then the next time you have $100, $500, $1,000, you do the same thing. 40% of Bitcoin, 30% in Ethereum, 400, 300, whatever the percentage is. And then mix it up, those 10, 10, and 10. Use other ones like VeChain, like Polygon, like Cardano, Cosmos, Gala, Immutable X. Rotate those alternatives, but alternative coins. But keep it 40-30 Bitcoin, Ethereum, and keep building up. Okay, because those are the ones you cannot lose with. All right. I don't think you'll lose with the other ones myself, but I'm just saying. Again, not a financial advisor. Good luck to you, my friend. I'm proud of you. Proud of you. You're going to make a difference for your future. Stephen Harris says, I was dying laughing when someone called you negative because you spoken the truth and they can't handle it. Oh, dude, it's been 30 plus years of that. People freak out on my ass all the time, dude. Casey sold Hill for reasons. Rams sold Ramsey for a reason. Well, no, the Rams were cash strapped. The Chiefs did not want to pay Tyreek. I'll go with that one. Jordan was out gambling. Yeah, exactly. And again, Jordan and Pippen don't look like they were really buddies, you know? Jordan was on his own. Hill a show on and off the field. Tua, I don't leave blameless. He's got to be the leader. He's obviously doesn't have Hill's respect. I don't believe any of that. Hill's played his best football under Tua. The best stats he's ever had has been under Tua. It has nothing to do with it. And Tua's put it in his hands and he drops it. So, you know, it has nothing to do with that. I think Tyreek is just full of shit. Let's just call it like we see it, dude. I think Tyreek is full of shit. Just like he says he fired somebody for filing the divorce. Bro, nobody files that shit by accident. You're the one that gave the green light. And then you went through an embarrassment, and that's why you made someone else pay the price for it. But what am I, stupid? Come on. Let's compartmentalize his production on the field with the way he acts. Separate the two. Okay? He's got a lot of, I don't think he'll ever grow up, to be quite honest. It's a little too late for that. He is what he is already. This may be Hill's way of complaining about Tua's on-field performance. No. That's you, XJ, that you don't like Tua's on-field performance. He's been in the MVP conversation the last 2 years. And again, when Tyreek catches all the balls, then we can talk about Tua's performance. But meanwhile, when Tyreek holds up his end of the bargain and comes up in key moments, then we'll talk. But meanwhile, he's part of the problem. So that's some of you that don't like Tua and you just need to spin it. It's not anything about his on-field anything. Tyreek is just talking nonsense like usual. Exactly. Tyreek just talks a lot of shit. I would not put anything on Shiba Inu. I would not put anything on any coin, any meme coin. I'm not going to suggest that because you could easily lose. More people lose than win on meme coins, dude. AVAX, I have no problem, but it's gone up a lot already at 40, where I think Chainlink has got a lot to move still. Big O, what do you think of the trade the Panthers I just said I loved it. I love the freaking trade. They added another guy that can set guys up. Love it. So, when you say I want to be a porn star, you sure got issues in that. Did he say he wanted to be a porn star too? He said that also? All right. After last year, Tyreek off teammates should avoid him like the plague. Yeah. Yeah. I just, that camaraderie bullshit about off the field and all that. Bro, people are different. They don't hang out together. You know what the saying was for the Knicks in the 70s? You know, the Knicks teams that won 2 titles, 70 and 73 or 70 and 72 or 71 and 73. I forgot. Knick fan, please. Knick fan out there, there's got to be one. And the 209 that are watching right now, one of you has to be a Knick fan. I feel for you, but you've got to be a Knick fan. What are the 2 years of the championships? I forgot now. I know it's early 70s. Anyway, do you know what the saying was for that team? Anybody know? Anybody know the saying for those early day Knicks that won 2 championships? 12 guys 12 cabs. Yeah. The Busher wasn't hanging out with Bradley. And Frazier wasn't hanging out with Bradley or the Busher. And they won 2 championships. 12 guys, 12 cabs. I mean, on any team, who the hell is going to be at the level of Bradley? No. A scholar, a guy, leading. He probably could have had a presidential career if he wanted to try to do that kind of stuff. But Bill Bradley was at another level. Like, who's going to be relating to him and hanging out with? No, dude. It's like, God, what's the name of this linebacker for the Chargers years ago in the 60s? Like, he was kind of a philosopher. Smart guy, super smart guy. And you could tell that he wasn't a guy that was going to be hanging out with other people on his team because he was an intellect. Doesn't mean you can't win that way. So all that bullshit, and Mahomes is Mahomes. Tua will be Tua. Marino will be his own person, and Joe Montana will be his own person, and Jimmy Garoppolo will be his own person, and everybody's completely different, dude. And that does not mean that you cannot win at all. Does not mean that at all. Anyway, it's just kind of silly when people bring that stuff up. Leave it to some Dolphin fans to somehow make it Tua's fault that Tyreek Hill hasn't grown up. I know, right? The organization lacks leadership and discipline. Well, that comes from the coach. That comes from the coach. So they didn't hang out, but they all got along and had each other's backs. Exactly. Just play the game. Be a professional. Compartmentalize, right? Do you get along with everybody that's a coworker of yours? Probably not, right? But you got to work with them. You got to try to get everything done because you got your job, they got their job, and doesn't matter if you guys don't like each other. You both got to do the job, right? Same thing. That's what those Knicks were. 70-73. There you go. Thank you, Robert. I always get confused with the years. Oh, and Jay got it in there too. Thank you, Jay. So, those teams they weren't hanging out with each other. Got to be a pro either way, man. So to me, what Tyreek is talking about is complete horseshit, is the way I would look at it. Absolute and total horseshit. So, folks, he's becoming a bigger issue and a bigger issue. And if there's one thing I would not do is guarantee any more money for Tyreek. I would just kind of plan my exit strategy in the next 2 years because he's got to be on your roster, I believe, 2 more years, and then you can unload. I would prepare myself to unload in 2 years with Tyreek Hill. That's what I would do. But problems continue with him, and he just runs his mouth and says all kinds of stupid shit. Sucks. All right, we thank Matt Verderame. We thank Sean Stanley, as always. We thank everybody that called in, tuned in. Also, if you sent in a donation, thank you, on a super chat. Remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, and you can make a Bitcoin donation there on Cash App or Venmo. Always appreciate that. And by the way, right now, Bitcoin is at 66,980. So it's been hovering right there at 67,000 or just under it. Hell of a bounce back. Ethereum's over 3,800. So that's nice to see. So we got some stuff moving again. Atlas now moving up 4%. I like that. I like to see my star Atlas starting to move again. The altcoins are about to have a little bit of a takeoff here, but should be fun. Maybe we'll get Bitcoin by 70,000, 75,000 by this weekend. We'll see. All right. Appreciate all of you out there. And we thank Sean Stanley. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Oh, actually, different place. We'll see you at Hialeah Park. And we'll see you at 3:30 right there at Hialeah Park. Be good.